The Rock is here.
It's good to talk to you, man.
Dude, I've been wanting to talk to you for years. I'm not going to lie to you. Saw you at the Mania press conference a year ago.
Yep.
And I saw you. Ben Lyons actually introduced me to you courtside at MSG one day.
Yeah.
And I told you I was a huge mark. I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Thank
so I
you,
want to
man.
talk about the hero.
Let's do it.
And I have to ask you a couple of wrestling questions.
I love
it. Real quick, I watched the trailer, dude. The hero looks super cool. It looks like a different kind of show. It looks like you get to really bring what makes you the Rock to this show.
It's a different kind of show. I wanted to create a show that just brought out the best in people. I enjoy reality television. I love quality reality television, and I love the train wrecks, and I'll watch it all day long, sometimes more than I should, but I still enjoy it. So I wanted to create a show that brought out the best in people, and in this case, it's just inherently brings out good qualities because it's the hero. And I loved it. And then also, too, it just gives me an opportunity to connect with contestants in ways that I would never, ever have connected with in movies. Because I'm right there with them when
and
they
you're being
succeed.
you. You're actually playing you.
Right, exactly. Being me, I can motivate them, I can mentor them, share insight with them, put my boots to their asses sometimes.
Sometimes you have to.
Sometimes you have to in life. But when they succeed, it's awesome when they're kicking ass. And it's awesome, epic moments. But when they fail, they're very powerful moments when they fail,
I saw the
too.
moment with you and Darnell.
Yeah.
That's it looks like a real legitimate tough moment.
It was a legitimate tough moment because he failed, and he's got 2 daughters at home, and a lot of times in these big hero challenges, when they fail, in all likelihood, you're going to be going home. And when there's $1 million on the line, you're doing it for your kids, and you fail at something, that's a big tough pill to swallow, and that was a big moment.
Well, it starts June 6th on TNT.
June 6th.
I'm very excited about it. I have you in front of me. Okay?
Let's do it.
And I live for wrestling. I absolutely love it. And I wish I'd had more time to be able to build a rapport with you to talk to you about wrestling because there's so much I'd love to talk to you about.
I love it, man.
But I want to start with this. I want to start with a hard question I normally would wait for.
Okay.
But it's what everyone's asking, and I feel like the wrestling world hasn't gotten to hear it from you directly.
Okay.
Was this the last one? That's what everyone's saying. They're saying it was the last one. Do you feel like this was the last one?
Possibly, to be honest with you. And this is an exclusive you're getting. This is exclusive shit
Rocky,
right here.
Believe me, I know, Rocky. I'm thankful that you're giving it to me.
Possibly. The goal 3 years ago was I sat down with Vince McMahon. We strategized about it, talked about 3 Wrestlemanias, back to back, boom, 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 and building to those. And I committed myself to the company, and I was very proud of that moment. It didn't matter if it lost or did the job or not, but it was an honor to do the honors. And in the wrestling world, there is no better way to give back to the business, as you know, because you're such a fan, than doing the honors. Now, because I know that there's a lot of fans. Oh, it shouldn't have been John. It should have been somebody else. But that's not for me to decide.
And I think we all know, frankly, whether you love John or not, it should be John. I mean, if you're being really realistic about where the business has been the last few years, isn't he the guy? Hogan did it for you.
Hands down, by the way. Well, when Hogan did it for me, and I was very appreciative of that, but he was on his way out.
True.
Basically at that time and not champion. But in this case, we wanted to build me to a certain place and become champion and then do things the right way. And for the business that I love, that I grew up in, it was an awesome way. It was the best way, by the way, to give back. So was it my last match? Possibly.
You're really not sure.
Really not too sure, and I wouldn't rule it out. But the plans this whole time was to create the Miami and then create the biggest show of all time in the biggest market of all time in New York.
And it wasn't to include the rubber match in New Orleans? That wasn't necessarily part of it?
No, not at all. Between John and I?
Or most likely.
To be honest with you, since we're so close now, the original plan was possibly Brock and myself. Like, that was the next thing that made sense to me because I love Brock. We've been friends for over a decade now, and we could have a great athletic match. So that was the plan. But then when I had torn my 2 tendons off my pelvis, then I had to fly home that day. We couldn't do what we wanted to do at Raw that day. So possibly with Brock down the road.
Last 2-second question to that.
Got it.
And this is the tough one. The rumor out there is that you didn't tell anyone and that you just left. Is that true or is that false?
That's so false.
Talked to Vince that day.
I talked to Vince that night when I was hurt that night. Vince came to my locker room at Wrestlemania. How you do? Vince and Triple H, by the way, and John Cena came. CM Punk. I mean, we're all these
You know
guys.
how the dirt sheets work, dude. You know what the words they get out there.
Well, it's easier. It's easier and more salacious and more entertaining if like The Rock just left. But no, I would never do that. It's just not how I do business, by the way. So that night, I saw the WWE guys, the orthos. They did the fun test if one has a hernia, which is always fun. And Vince came by the locker room. I said, I'm hurt. Then we agreed that I wasn't going to be at the show the next. So everybody knew. So I wasn't quite too sure where all the scrambling came in. And then I got a phone call in the afternoon from one of our writers at the WWE and said, hey, would you like to give a message, or not only would you like to tweet a message, but is there a statement from the orthopedics that you saw today? I'm like, yeah, I saw Dr. Kaplan down in Miami. He's my guy.
And then they threw the tweet up on Raw. And
that was it. Yeah, but I went, I had my MRIs done, and believe me, for a guy who has to get surgery, I wouldn't make it up. No, it's silly.
The Hero comes out June 6th.
Yes.
If you love The Rock like I do, if you loved him in WWE, if you love him in movies, you get all of that guy on The Hero. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you, man.
And it means a lot that you gave me that stuff. I really appreciate it. One day I want to talk Owen Hart with you one day. I want to talk Nation of Domination one day.
I want to. One day we will.
Appreciate
Thanks
it,
for
bro.
being a fan, man. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Dude.
And it's so funny, yeah, believe me, with the Dirts, we laugh and joke about it all the time. Me and my guys are like, where the fuck does this shit come from?
Well, dude, there was